Chukio be back with more basic instructions. Lately I've been connecting with people where I live here in Kansas City, and they're wondering about what I've been doing since I left pro football. They seem to feel curious when I tell them that I'm a master practitioner of NLP, and they're probably asking themselves, what the heck is NLP? Well, allow me to illustrate. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro refers to your neurology, your brain and human mind. Linguistic refers to language and communication, and programming refers to how that language functions in your neurology, how words affect the way our human minds function. It's really funny. If you can imagine, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to words. Speaking and language are kind of my thing. I find NLP to be fascinating. You ever notice how hearing certain words can trigger feelings deep inside? Bring certain images into your mind. Now, names are words too, am I right? So think about how hearing certain names gives you a clear picture in your mind of someone who is an example of career and business success. As you think about them, you can envision how it would feel to have their kind of success for yourself in your career. Now, names are words, right? So think about it. Certain names, you hear them and these words evoke thoughts of greatness. Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Tony Robbins, Steven Spielberg. They all use NLP. I bet in your mind right now you hear your inner voice saying, heck yeah, I'd love to have that kind of success in my career. Picturing what life would look like for you, wealth, health, and happiness. That'd be amazing, right? All of a sudden now I'm asking myself, what is the difference between people like Tony Robbins and me? I mean, seriously, what's stopping me? Can I have that Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg, Super Bowl level success in my career? You absolutely can create that same level of success in your life. It's like Coach Bill Cowher once pointed out to us back when I was on the Steelers. He pointed out that we don't know what we don't know. There are things in our world that we are unaware of, certain aspects of how we approach and create success that many of us have just never considered because we didn't know about it. That means we never noticed this opportunity right now to consider it. Let's go deeper and I'll explain. Gets deep. Words and language are some crazy powerful stuff. You probably never thought about this, but you already knew this deep down. You ever notice how language is a tool only used by humans? Words have the ability to take us on a roller coaster ride all over the emotional spectrum. Hearing certain words can bring us down to the deepest depths of despair. And at the same time, hearing these words now can make you feel incredibly good, bring us to the heights of happiness, fulfillment, and passion. You can relate to this, I'm sure. Just think about the lyrics to your favorite song from high school, or when I heard her say yes when I asked my wife to marry me, or the joy of hearing dad dad when your baby uttered their first word. Think about those moments right now. Feels good, doesn't it? Since the beginning of civilization, language has shaped human life on this planet. Remember back far enough in history and you'll recognize that words and magic at one time were considered to be the same thing. Abracadabra, right? Words are magic. That's why they call it spelling. Words are the means by which we influence our fellow humans, are they not? Now, I can hear someone in the back right now saying, yeah, but what does learning about words have to do with my company or career? Giving my perspective from my experience, I'd say that the words we use have everything to do with success. Let's go deeper. See, back when I first started learning about the power of words, applying NLP in college to achieve the success I deeply desired, I had this dream of going pro in football. And looking back at the professional results I achieved in the NFL, I recognized that if I want to change what's going on around me in my life and career, I have to start with what's going on within me. Taking control of my thoughts and emotions by being intentional about the words I use to speak to myself and others. I was genuinely surprised to discover how my emotions and my choice of words when I spoke to myself inside have a much, much deeper impact on my career success. So it brings to mind a word that came up in the discussion the other day when I was networking with entrepreneurs, business leaders, startup founders here in Kansas City. They kept saying the F word. And every time I heard this dirty word spoken, I was aware of the discomfort that the word evoked inside. The negative emotions that we all associate with this F word. It makes me wonder, now each of us has control over the words we use to express ourselves. Can't we think of a better word to use than that F word? Forgive me, let me point something out and go even deeper. The F word I'm referring to isn't the F word that you're probably thinking of. This F word is a word that's commonly used to describe situations and circumstances that we'd rather not be in. When you hear others use it as they describe someone, maybe even themselves, using this F word as an adjective to describe how they're doing in their career, it's not an F word that you're thinking of. The F word I'm referring to right now is the word failure. Now, some people think failure is a good word in business. They say things like fail fast or embrace failure. Is failure good or bad? I mean, think about this. I recognize that good and bad are not truths. Good and bad are judgments. So who knows? Personally, thinking about the word failure, I'm simply not a fan. I just feel deep down that there are better ways, better words to express ourselves in the exact same situation. Think about it. Choose a different word and create a different effect in the mind, evoking different emotions inside. Here's something maybe you never considered. This F word, failure, it just describes a feeling. It's the feeling that we experience when we had a plan to achieve an outcome, and it's just how we feel when things don't go the way we planned or envisioned when we first started. I just know when I think of the word failure or I think about failing in my career, it's not a good feeling. It's a word related to frustration, disappointment, regret, and none of those emotions are helpful in getting what I deeply desire. Just like the big F word, it can evoke negative emotions, and those feelings simply are not useful in my business. It's really funny because there's a different F word that I could use in the exact same situation, the same circumstance that would literally change everything in this moment. If I used a different F word when things don't go my way, my personal future instantly begins to look brighter, and the emotions of frustration and regret are instantly replaced by a deep sense of hope and optimism. The F word you want to use instead of failure is feedback. Think about it. It's not failure, it's just feedback. There's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. When we don't get our desired result and we're looking at the outcome we have in this moment, it's not what I thought it would be. Realize this result is still valuable. It's just feedback on my plan. I'm sure you agree, feedback is very important and useful in career development. Switching to using this F word instead, feedback turns a negative situation instantly to a positive one. Feedback gives us an opportunity to stop, take a deep breath in, and evaluate the effectiveness of our plan of action. Recognizing that maybe I miscalculated, underestimated certain things, and missed something along the way that I'm now conscious of. That means now feedback gives me an opportunity to make adjustments to my approach, refocus on the desired outcome, take new actions to achieve it, and the next time achieve exactly what I set out to do. Think of it like this. Looking at where we are and realizing that we're not where we'd like to be as simply feedback, one thing I notice when I think about myself in the same situation that I used to label failure, calling it feedback actually means that I'm closer to my goal. In this moment right now, I'm learning about how I can improve my approach to success, identify where I may have gone off course, and learning what adjustments I need to make, what actions I need to take to achieve my desired results the next time out. I imagine you're probably thinking about one change that you're going to make now as it pertains to making your career dreams your reality. Maybe now you're beginning to realize that the words we use don't describe our reality, they actually create it. And with all that said, you might want to consider getting rid of one F word in your vocabulary and using the other F word from now on. Remember, there's no such thing as failure. That's the F word. That's the dirty one. Choose your words wisely. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. Success is simple if you know the basic instructions.com.